So, hello and welcome to my first Unity tutorial on this channel and my first English talking video on this channel. Usually I talk German, but now I'm going to make like a global video tutorial, like in the title you see how to make animations, not only weapon animation, like item animations at all. It's pretty simple. If for me, it's like simple, the most simple thing in Unity. For God's sake, I can't talk anymore. So, what we're gonna do is I will be putting a cube on my hand, and but only if I activate it. And when it's not activated with a hand gesture, it will be on my hip, like it's on a holster or something like this. And when we activate it, the cube on the holster will be gone. So at first we need to create a cube. You can do it with every other FBX file you find in Blender, like a weapon or something, but I will do it with a cube because it's the same. It's the same procedure. Like when I create a cube, you can just drag a FBX file into it, and it will be like cube in weapon form or something. I hope you understand me. So, at first we need to create a cube, or I need to create a cube. I will be doing that with right click, 3D objects and cube, and there we have a cube. And I don't want it in our project right now. Wait a second, I will be just collapse that, because it's like an important thing of a tutorial. So what I'm doing is positioning the cube now in my hand, but I'm not doing that while it's in my character because it could be a little bit buggy or something. With some things it could be a little bit buggy, so I'm not doing that right now. So I'm just putting it into my hand. And that it will fit correctly, for God's sake. So I think that's a good position for it. Excuse the noises in the background, I don't know what's happening down there, but yeah. So now we have like our item in our hand. It could be like a weapon. Of course, a weapon you have to like position other ways, that it's like you're holding a gun or holding a scythe. I mean, when you do a knife or something, or a scythe, or any other knife weapon, you have to like put it in a hand that the grip will be like beneath, no, over the thumb and beneath your other fingers. So you just have to look how it looks good and how it will work for you. But I'm just doing the cube, and the positioning work will be your thing, because I don't think that anyone can't position an item right. So yeah. So right now I position it, and now we're going to bind it to our wrist. How we do it is at the left at a VRC menu or tab or something, and we just search out the wrist bone. Why the wrist? Because like this whole hand is a wrist. Well, yeah, usually just this is a wrist, or just this, but in Unity the whole hand is a wrist. So yeah. So we're gonna bind it to our wrist bone, that it moves with a wrist, and it will move like when you move your hand and spin it. It will be always bind it to a wrist, and will not move like randomly when you're walking, or yeah. So we're gonna bind it to a wrist. How we do that is like we expand our character. In my situation, it's named tutorial. I just renamed it. So now we have usually two things. You can ignore the cube. The cube is something other for, but you don't need to understand it now. But the cube will not be in your project. Only the armature and your body. And the body I renamed because of the lip sync, that I can find the mesh in here. Because everything is like named body and mesh and something. Yeah, you see that. So I renamed it that I can find it again. So, but the thing that is interesting for us is armature. So if I expand that, you will see like all the bones. Like here we have the hip bone. Here we have the left leg, the right leg, the spine, and of course we want it in our upper body, so we need to go to our spine, and then we go to our chest, and now we see that there is the left shoulder, the neck, and the right shoulder. The neck will always leading to the head, so you need like to imagine that this is the thing you start with, the bones, and then if you go to the upper body, it will always go higher and higher, and if you have the lower body, it will always go down in that direction if you expand the bones. But we won't want in our right arm, so we expand right shoulder, right arm, right elbow, and there we have a wrist. So what we're now going to do is just simply drag the cube into our wrist. And now it's binded to our wrist. It's like this simple, and this is the more of the hard parts. The hardest part is coming, but is coming later, but it's not hard at all. Once you understand it, you can get it easily every time. So, but we want another cube to be holstered at our hip. So what I'm going to do is creating another cube. What you're gonna do is just duplicate your item with Control D, or you can just right click it and press duplicate, but I'm just creating another cube. So yeah, now I have another cube here, and wait a second. Oh yeah, it's in my head. So I got a cube, and I will be just positioning it right, that it's looks like it's holster at her hip. So just spin it a little bit, so, and now I'm gonna just positioning it to my wrist. For me it doesn't have to look good, but because you have the time with positioning and everything, and really take your time. Don't stress yourself, and don't be quick. So if you're doing this the first time, you really just slow down, do every step single step by step, and don't just go click, and yeah, oh yeah, this, I forget this, and then you go in game and you remember like, oh fuck, I forgot everything, and you have to go to Unity again. So what we're gonna do is doing it slowly, that you can just that we don't make mistakes. So now what we're gonna do is removing this cube, not removing it, I mean deselect it. So we just take the tick from the box, and now our cube is gone. usually, not usually, it's in her hand, but you can see it right now. And now we're gonna doing an animation that this cube will disappear from our hip, and the other cube will appear in our hand. So this cube, I forgot this cube to position. We want it in our hip, on the hip bone, because it's like on our hips right now. So we're gonna just drag it to our hip bone, and there we have it. We can just collapse that, and what we're now going to do is do an animation, and we won't use this character for the animation. We will use a duplicate for the animation. So we are just duplicating the avatar. I'm just doing it with Control D, and this one, the original one, you can just deselect. We don't need it right now. You can keep it selected, but I'm just doing. I just deselected to keeping the overview. So we're going to this character, and now we go to the animations tab down here. If you don't have the animations tab, just right click, add tab, and then go to animation, and you have an animations tab. I don't need this one, so I'm just closing it. So now we're gonna create an animation. Just press on create, and now we just have to give it a name. Give it a name you can remember well, so that you don't have to search for it. Like when you do every time a new animation, and then you have new animation 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you all wanted to set it in your custom override or something like this. You just have to search, and which one was this, and just name it like you can find it, and that you don't take the wrong one. So yeah, as I told you, I'm from Germany. This was just like a German text overall, just said save on English. So yeah, now we go to add property, and we have to add both cubes. So we had one cube. These up here we don't need right now. This one we're gonna use after the cube settings. But yep. So we go to our armature again, because these are the bones. One we have on our hip, we're gonna do that at first. So we're going into that bone, and you see this little text X is active right here, and we just click on the plus, and there we have our cube. So this cube is the one at our hip, and we don't want the cube to appear when the animation is played. So we take the tick out of the box, and don't wonder why the character is like be crouched now. It's just just for the animation stuff. So, and now we're gonna add another cube from the armature. So that one was at our wrist, so it was at our hip, spine, right shoulder, right arm, right elbow, and in the right wrist. So we have a second cube here. So we open the cube again and click on is active. And right now we want this cube to be active when the animation is played, so we tick the box. So you can also, if you're not quite satisfied with the position, you can position it. You can do repositioning things. So like this, I can reposition it. Then it will automatically do a positioning down here, but that's not really important. So you can just reposition it without having troubles or something. So now we have a cube in our hand, and you see that our hands are a little bit just like this. And when the animation is played, our fingers will not look different from this. So we want to set the fingers that are on the cube and not yeah, not like this. Oh, and by the way, I forgot one thing to say with the bones. It could be that your bone here, she is a little bit different from mine, but usually if you translate it with the with cats in Blender, you have like this here, she all the time. But it could be different because it isn't always the same, but most of the time it is like this. So let's continue. So how do we edit the fingers? At first I made a mistake, like I took all of the fingers of the hero of the armature, but that is a mistake, so we don't have to do this. Now we need to tab animator, and if we scroll down, you see like here is the left hand index, but this is the left hand and we want the right hand. So we scroll way down here, and now we have the right hand index. And now you're asking, but why are there 3 of these and a spread? Do I have to add all of these? And the answer is yes. The 1, 2, 3 is like for the position, for bending of the fingers. And now I fucked up. So so the 1 is like the whole finger is moving. The 2 is for just from here the finger is moving, you can bend it, and the 1 is like the little tip is just moving. and the spread is just for you can set up the distance between the fingers, so it's not really like that important, but for different things it's important. So what we're gonna do is add every finger from the right hand index 1 to the right hand thumb spread. These are all the fingers of our hand, and I'm not gonna do that right now because I have another project with these fingers, so I can just copy that if I find it right here. These are all the fingers. So I'm just gonna copy these, and I'm just insert it in here. So because I just yeah, I'm a little bit lazy to just set it all right. So I'm just setting the values all to 0, that it's like the normal values of the fingers, and we have our stand back. So now wait a second. Oh, I don't want to create a keyframe, I'm sorry. Yeah, right now these little things right here are called keyframes, and these are like for the duration of the animation. So we want the animation to be just 1 frame long, because as long as you hold the button, as long the animation will go on. So it's not stopping after 1 frame right now, so don't be afraid of that. Don't wonder why it's like this. Actually, we can just remove these keyframes right now. We don't need them right now because I will tell you the reason later. But right now I will be just so we have to go to this keyframes again with the bar. But right now I will just positioning the fingers. There's 2 ways to position the fingers. One way is just go a little bit in front of the 0 or of the number which is there, and you get these little arrows, and just click it and drag it, and this is the easy way to just move the fingers. You can also change the value via numpad or keyboard, I mean, but this is a little bit more tricky. So I just saw the cube is a little bit wrong positioned, but yeah, that's not from interest right now. So you can just position your every of the fingers that you have the right positions. I'm sorry, wait a second, I need to just cough. So there was something stuck in my throat, so I'm sorry. Yeah, you can position all of your fingers, but I will do that right now because the time is we have 20 minutes right now again. So now this is an important step, and please pay attention right now, because if you don't do that, you have an annoying mistake in your character. So the reason why I told you to remove the second keyframes is because the animation will fuck up if you do the finger animation on this keyframes but not on the second keyframes. So imagine like the first keyframe is the start keyframe and the second keyframe is the end keyframe. So the second keyframe, there are no finger stuffs and all of this, so wait a second, I will remove it, but there is no finger stuff and everything. So the animation will start and it will go over a millisecond, and if it's on this millisecond it will end, and then it will start again. And but the problem is, on the second position there are no fingers. There is no position for the fingers. So if you have this, then the fingers will go on the cube so that the position is right, and when it will go on the second position, the fingers will don't go on a position as they used to. So this is because, like as I told you, this is the start keyframe, this is the end keyframe. The end keyframe doesn't have the finger position, and if you don't do that with what I'm showing you now, if you don't do what I'm telling you right now, the finger will be flickering and spazzing out. So right now I'm telling you how to fix this. You just have to select all of these keyframes just by clicking the top one, pressing Ctrl C, go with that little bar to the first keyframe. The first keyframe you see, the first frame I mean, you see right here on top. And if we press Ctrl V, then all of the keyframes will be on this position. So now it will just loop from start to start. So now it's two start keyframes and not one start and one end keyframe. This will just do a loop between these keyframes. So, and yeah, that's kind of it with the finger positioning, and I'm just talked like 10 minutes about only finger positioning, but it's a really important thing you should know, so it was necessary. So now we got the animation, and now we can just deselect the model again, so we don't need this, and just select this model, and we go to the project folder again. And now you see a little animation that's called cube right here. So wait a second. Okay. Now we have a little animation, this cube, this is named cube right here. So I named my animation cube. You named your animation whatever you named it. And this animation is like the triggering, which you need to trigger your animation to show the weapon with a hand gesture. So what we're now doing is creating a custom override. You don't need right click. We're just dragging out of a folder, so don't mind these folders because I have a lot of project over here, so I'm just closing this again because of the overview. So we need the folder VRC SDK. I hope you guys all have this folder because you needed to upload avatars. If you don't, you have to drag the VRC SDK in there. So we're going in this folder and we go to examples, sample assets, animation, and right here we have the custom override. The custom override is just to overriding animation, emotes, and anything else. So like you see, you can just override the crouch idle animation, the crouch walk animation, or all of the emotes you can override, and of course the hand gestures and all of the walking animations. By the way, victory is a hand gesture too. It's like the peace sign. I don't know why it's called victory. I think because of the V, which you're doing with the fingers, but yeah. So we don't just drag it out of the file. What I'm doing is I'm duplicating it, as I told you, with with Control D, or just right click it and press. Okay, you can press duplicate on that with right click, but okay. So you have to just duplicate it with Control D. So now we're just dragging it out. So I need to find my folder that I can drag it into there. There is my folder. So I'm just dragging this one into my folder and just going back to the folder. If I'm finding it, I'm a little bit blind right now. Where's my folder? Am I really? Oh, there's my folder. Oh my god, I'm just blind, sorry. So, we're just going to click on the custom override, and now you see you can just drag all of the animation clips in here. You can do it with two ways. I think our process is like to click the little circle behind it, and then you have this window where you can search out your animations. But I'm just doing this with drag and drop, and I'm just doing it on the rock and roll hand gesture because it's a hand gesture you don't often use. So yeah, I'm just doing it. So now you have it in your custom override, and now you need to drag the custom override, of course, into your avatar. And how you do that, you just need the avatar descriptor, which you need for the cam too. So you drag the custom override you have in the custom standing animation and the custom sitting animation. The difference between this custom standing and sitting animation, as there is told, like it's really obvious what's the difference. So custom standing animation is of course then when you're standing and you're doing your hand gesture, you activate the animation, and with the custom sitting animations you can do it with the sitting animation too. You can cancel I mean, you can just put it in your standing animation too, so that when you're sitting you can do the hand gesture at least in your sitting animation, but for me it's not really, it doesn't make sense for me, so I'm just putting it in all of these too. So, and that's kind of it. So we just finished our animation and we can upload a character. So you can just upload the character. I can't upload my character right now because I have over 20,000 polygons, and I have to edit some things to the editor, to the character that I can upload it. But it was just a tutorial for you. Usually you can just upload your avatar, and now you can, when you do the hand gesture, the animation will be triggered, and you just can trigger your item that you selected to animate. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope it was useful and helpful. So then I can only wish you a good day and have fun with your animation and your just have fun with creating animations and stuff. So, and don't give up if the first animation don't work. If something don't work, just go back into the video, and it could be like in a few months or like years. I don't know when you're watching this. It could be like too that the animation won't work like I described because Unity has another version or something, but I don't think that they will change it, only in the look or easiness in that way or something. Yeah, but yeah, as I told you, have fun with the animations, and I'm just saying goodbye.